part 2 of the Minolta legacy.
Okay, part two.
Yeah, I'm putting back this 101. You notice here, if those who are sharp-eyed, they say, why this little ugly thing on the top here? Actually, this camera, I put along with all the others, and the pressure make a dent inside here, look very ugly. So I went to the hardware store, the DIY store, and bought a two-piece putty and mix it up, and then I roughly use my hand to shape it to cover up the gap. Then I use black paint and paint it up so it looks don't look so bad. Okay, so we have most of the camera covered. Now, along the cooperation with Leica, then in 1973, they also came up with a compact rangefinder. Minolta's version was a Minolta CL. That was the Lights Minolta CL. That means it was a rangefinder with a vertical shutter, cloth shutter, and a small compact body, because Leica wanted to have a camera that is on the lower budget. And they later on, 1981, they took that design and make it into the CLE with automatic exposure. So that's a Lights Minolta. Then later on, they came out with the autofocus SLR, the first successful 35mm autofocus camera, the Maxim series. Then they started with the Maxim 7000. Then they have many models in between. And the last one was the 9XI with a 12,000 of a second shutter speed, built-in motor. Then, of course, later on, we know that the company merged with Konica, so it became Konica Minolta. And then later on, they exited the camera market. They sold the camera business to Sony. And the Sony early cameras were using the Minolta alpha mount. So that was a bit of the history. Now, besides the Minolta camera, they also make good light meter, exposure meter. And then they also use the special meter for the assembly of cathode ray tube, for when the calibration of the cathode ray tube. So they have industrial meters. And those who are in astronomy, when you have a planetarium, they make a special projector to project the sky to the wall, to the ceilings. And people can see where the stars are moving and so on. So they have planetarium. Now, very successful camera. The lenses were good, so much so that in China, they also try to get into the camera line. They have this camera, Seagull DF. They adopted the Minolta SR mount. So the mount is the same. So you can actually put the Minolta lens. It will work. So you can mount it here. Same. This is a no-frill camera, only bare bones, basic. So you have cloth shutter, 1 second to 1000. You have a mirror lock, self-timer. The depth of field is in the lens, so you can check the depth of field. But this lens, they did not copy from Minolta. What they did is, they had good cooperation with the Soviet, Russia. So they make this a copy of the Russia lens, which was a copy of a German lens. So this is a copy of a copy. They copied that one, the German lens, Biota 58 f2. So it's a good lens. I have tried this. I put an adapter, Minolta adapter to the Hasselblad XD, and I took picture with it, and that lens was able to cover the full area of the Hasselblad sensor, no vignetting. No, it's still good, yeah. Then, of course, they have a full array of accessories. They got special lenses. Then got this bellow, not the original Minolta bellow. but compatible. So they have barrels, they got extension tube, they got macro lenses, wide angle. So this is the Minolta macro lens, and so on. So Minolta, very successful, not very expensive. So if you compare to the Nikon, it doesn't cost you 2 arms and 2 legs to acquire, but it does its job. That's Minolta.
Wow. God, the guys would be really happy about that because there's so much information here, you know. And Minolta was so innovative those days. Only from the eyes of Minolta. I remember that very well in the 70s. And even today, their legacy still goes on because a lot of the engineers from Minolta went to Sony, correct? That's that was the rumor. So without Minolta, you wouldn't have a Sony. You think so, Mr. Wu?
Yeah. Sony didn't have to do a lot of R&D at first, just
So that means if we had to do vintage Sonys, actually we just went over it right now,
yeah.
right? Okay, guys, stay tuned for the next cool camera that's going to come out. Okay? See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.